Munir's 12 years old and he's been at Spa School for a year. He hates his disability and tries to deny it. Why are you at Spa School?
Because they made a mistake and put me here.
In fact, Munir has a form of autism called Asperger's syndrome. Children with this form of autism seem less severely affected because they have more normal speech and are often above average intelligence.
My ambitions for the future, I want to go to Oxford, and then I want to be an astronaut, the first person on Mars, and then I want to be an Egyptologist.
Munir's autism can cause outbursts of anger and frustration. According to the school incident log, his behaviour is more challenging than any other pupil in the school.
Munir, on the 12th of September, refused to comply, unsafe and disruptive behaviour, hitting staff, damaging property.
I'm fed up with this.
Do you know what? I'm not fed up. Put the burger. You know how to do it.
What?
Can you just...
You just don't care, do you?
Munir refusing to work, beginning to upset others, tearing up the work of others, damaged the property, threw the radio to the floor, throwing the kettle. That was here, throwing the kettle through my computer. Tearing up plants, destroying trees. Finally picked up a garden fork.
So I'm going to waste my plate on the only plate I'm actually having your roll in it! Okay, I'm at Spa School because some people think I've got Asperger's. Okay, I'm at Spa School because I've got Asperger's.
In Munir's case, his inability to understand other people's points of view leads to frustration and bad behaviour.
I said keep your hands to yourself, didn't I? Okay, we're gonna need to talk again for this lesson, okay, when everyone else has gone. Because you're gonna get out of control.
Sorry.
No, we're gonna have a
No.
But Munir has more to contend with than autism. 3 weeks into term, his mother died after a long battle with cancer.
He didn't believe she would die. He's been used to Mum going in and out of hospital. And he's used to her recovering and coming home. So he thought that would be the case. He thought she would recover and she would come home.
Of course, I thought she was going to come out of hospital, but suppose nobody lives forever. 51, as a matter of fact. As I said before, I'm only 12. But, as I said, life must go on, and I'm sure she wouldn't want me to be miserable all my life, so I won't be.
I can't imagine how muddled his thinking will be, but his thinking will be incredibly muddled. He's disadvantaged instantly because he can't empathise. He doesn't have the flexibility of thought to understand what other people will be feeling too, nor does he have the ability, because of the communication difficulties, to really describe what he's feeling.
For people with autism, their special interest is a safe place they can retreat to when the world is too difficult. Munir's special interest is Star Wars.
And there you go, a perfect and successful flight.
It's hard to tell how Munir's feeling. All he talks about is Star Wars.
Yes.
He's struggling at school, and one of the teaching assistants arranges an outing. The new DVD of Star Wars has just been released, and the actor who played the robot C-3PO is signing copies.
Hi C-3PO.
Who are you?
My name is Munir, and I'm your #1 biggest fan.
You're my #1 big... I thought I was my #1 biggest fan.
And also, I'm the biggest fan of Star Wars in this room, because I know a lot.
Do you?
A lot. What's it like when you're on the back of Chewbacca?
So which is your favourite film then?
Oh, I think it would be the last one. It's quite interesting with the Return of the Jedi. Well, Jabba the Hutt gets killed,
yes.
And also Han Solo gets freed. Quite very good. And one thing I must admit is...
Are you with him? Where's the off switch?
Who comforts you when you cry?
My mum's cushion.
Your mum's
Cushion? Yeah, one that she slept. You know, one that she always slept with, and I shall never sleep with it without it under my head.
Good.
So...
If ever you need to cry at school, it's okay.
Really?
Of course it is. You may not want to do it in front of the other children because they'd be silly, wouldn't they?
Hmm.
Do you like to have a hug when you cry or not?
Well, I just hug my mum's cushion. It's quite a weird cushion, so I've got like arms, so I hug that.
I'm sure that helps.
Indeed.
Okay.
Ah, look.
Ah, look.
Now look, that is the big version which models actually go inside.
Did many relatives stay for long after the funeral? Did they stay?
Well, I saw an uncle I'd never seen before.
Really? Where did he come from?
Butlins.
Oh, right. And how do you feel?
Very upset.
Yeah. Do you want to talk about it?
That's okay.
Well, you can talk about it if you want. It sometimes helps.
I'm fine. Look, it's a Lego model of Yoda.
You're going to miss her a great deal, aren't you?
Yeah. I'm going to speak anonymously, just like they do in the police, just so you don't know who's speaking, sort of. Yeah. I can really show my feelings in here because nobody can see, if you know what I mean.
When was the last time you saw your mum?
In hospital. The day before she died, I visited her. She didn't wake up because she was sleeping. Then the next day, well, I was on the way and my mum passed away 10 minutes before I could get to her. Because of the damn buses and the stupid traffic. And guess what? On the funeral, the weather just rained. But when the funeral actually started, the sun came out. And when the funeral finished, it stopped again. I feel like killing myself. I feel like I'm in suicide because of all the nasty things I'd done to her and that. All the bad, nasty things that I can never say sorry for now.